Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachadi Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna. So thank you all for coming here tonight to the Hare Krishna temple. So we, before I continue, Om Jnanatimirandasya Kyananjana Shalakaya Chakshulan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karitavachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yakripa Damaham Vande Shri Gurandini Taranam Vanchakavdrubhishta Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare So the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavat Purana explains that there are three aspects to the absolute truth. Vedanti tat, tattva vidas, tattvam yajnanam advayam, brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabhyate. That there's the impersonal feature of God, of Krishna. And then there's Paramatma, Krishna, or the Supreme within everyone's heart. This is mentioned also in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is residing in everyone's heart, and he is guiding us according to our desires. And then there's Bhagavan. There's Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a person. So Krishna is a person, just as we are persons, in a similar way. Of course, not not absolutely similar, but in a similar way. What makes a person a person? What would you say? Yeah. Yeah, so they have a form, a body. What other things does a person have? Yes? Yeah. Yes, so a person, yeah, we have a body, but we're the soul, as Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita. Yes. Any other things? The difference between a conditioned soul or a soul in this material world with a material body is that Krishna's soul and his body, they're the same. It's a spiritual body. So, yeah, so we have we have a body, we have a form. What else? Consciousness, ego, or anything else? Huh? False ego. Okay. Anything else that makes up a person? Character. All right. So like qualities. He's a humble person, she's a humble person, different qualities. Okay, yes. So form, qualities, what else? Values, that's true. Spirituality, true. Looking for things that are more maybe basic. Like a name, right? We don't say man, hey man with the green jacket, we don't say that. That would be considered disrespectful. That would be considered rude. That would be considered disrespectful. But we say Rup Manohar Prabhu, right? We address him by his name. So yeah, we have a form, we have qualities, a name, and also activities. So someone is working at this corporation or that corporation, or that they're going to school at this school or that school. What grade are you in now? 5th. Okay. All right. What about you? You don't know? Okay, that's good. That's fine. Yeah, he's going to school soon. Going to kindergarten. Are you excited? Good. Not everybody's excited to go to kindergarten. When I joined the Hare Krishna temple, Asha, everyone knows Asha here? She lives just right up the street. Forget Asha Ori. Yeah. So her husband, after many, many years, one time he came up to me, because he saw me when I joined the temple. I was 18 years old, and I'm 36. Been living here at the temple. But anyways, he came up to me one day and he's like, he said, whenever I look at you, he was smiling, he was kind about it, but he said, whenever I look at you, I think, oh, this boy wanted to avoid school. This boy didn't like school. And I just laughed and I said, well, I didn't join I don't think he was thinking I joined the temple on that basis, but anyways, that was what was in his mind. I guess if I liked school more, maybe I would have continued, but I just joined the temple. So maybe there's some truth. But in terms of Śrīla Prabhupada, because Śrīla Prabhupada, our teacher, Śrīla Prabhupada, when he was a young boy, he actually didn't like the idea of going to elementary school. And his mother had to hire a man to, make sure he goes to school. Gets there and goes to school. So, all right. So different activities, school, whatever it may be. So we have a form, we have qualities, we have activities, and we have a name. So similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has a name. He has many names. We don't just say God. That's a very generic, we may say, but it's very generic, or secondary. But then there's primary names. For example, Krishna or Govinda, or different names like that. And a lot of his names, they have to do with his relationships with his devotees. For example, one of his names is Nanda Nandana, one who gives pleasure to Nanda Maharaj, or Yashoda Nandana, one who gives pleasure to Mother Yashoda. So, or Gopinath, the Lord of the Gopis. So in this way, he has different names, Krishna. Just as we have a name, Krishna has a name. Form, or Rupa, Krishna has also. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarna Karnam. That Krishna has a form that is Satchidananda. It is composed of eternality, knowledge, and bliss. It's eternal, blissful form, full of knowledge. Unlike the forms in this material world, the material forms are not like that. So Krishna has a form, he has a name, he has qualities in the nectar of devotion. It explains that, of course, Krishna has unlimited qualities, but these are some that are mentioned. 64 qualities. Krishna is, for example, Krishna is very humble. Does anyone remember a pastime in the 10th canto in which Krishna manifests his humility? There's some pastimes there. Yes. Tapas?
Sudama Brahman.
Okay, you said also Sudama. Okay, Rocky said Sudama, you said. Anyone else? Any other? Yes. Yes, Krishna served as a chariot driver for Arjuna. That's very humble. Just like if someone, no offense to Uber drivers or Lyft drivers, but there's more prestigious jobs out there. If I know a number of you may have children, and some of them may be coming of age of marriage, or maybe already have come to age of marriage and are maybe married now. But if some of you heard, yes, what is your prospective husband? What does this prospective boy do that will marry my daughter? And he says, I'm a Lyft driver. You may not be so impressed. It's a very humble thing. So Krishna, of course, it's a crude example because Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord, and Krishna has great affection for his devotee, and he feels himself a servant of his devotees. But still, it is a humble position. He's acting as a charioteer driver, carrying Arjuna around. Usually, if someone is considered the master, then they have somebody drive them. That's the general thing. So yeah, that's any other examples you could think of in the 10th canto? Krishna displaying his humility. Yes.
Krishna carrying the shoes of Nanda Maharaj.
Okay, very good. I wasn't thinking of that one, but that's very good. Krishna, as a young boy, because you have Krishna displaying his pastimes as a young boy, baby, which is unique in God consciousness or theology, that God is a young boy. But you have this in Krishna Lila. And what's going on there is that in this material world, which is called Durga Dham, it is under the jurisdiction of Maya, Durga. And then you have Mahesh Dham, right? The abode of Shiva. And you got Hari Dham. You have the abode of Krishna. But in this world, people tend to be covered by Maya, by illusion, in which they forget Krishna. Now, in the spiritual world, or in Krishna Lila, Krishna's pastimes, the devotees are also under a particular type of Maya, and that's called Yoga Maya. So Yoga Maya covers Nanda Maharaj, and also Krishna allows Yoga Maya to cover him. Why? So that they could have this very blissful relationship between a father and a son. Otherwise, if Nanda Maharaj was so conscious that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he can't be telling them, oh, get my shoes. But Nanda Maharaj does, he says it very politely, but he does say that. He says, Krishna, please bring my shoes. And Krishna puts the shoes on top of his head, and he walks them over to Nanda Maharaj. Very humble. Any other things that you could think of in the 10th canto, Krishna Lila, Krishna displaying his humility? I'm thinking of one. When Maharaj Yudhishthira, when they were doing the yajna, before all these great sages and great personalities came in, there was someone at the entrance of the yajna arena, and what were they doing? They were washing the feet of all the participants. And who was that person? That was Krishna. So in this way, he's the charioteer driver of Arjuna. He is carrying Nanda Maharaj's shoes. He is worshipping Sudama, washing his feet and offering garlands and all types of service. He is washing the feet of the participants in this yajna. So in this way, Krishna is displaying his humility. So that's one quality of Krishna, but there's so many qualities. 64 qualities in which our acharyas, they explain how Krishna displays this. So you have Krishna's form, Krishna's names, Krishna's qualities, and you have Krishna's activities, Krishna Lila. So as Śrīla Prabhupada would say, you never see Krishna as like an old man with gray hair or something like that, or with a cane. But Krishna is always looking no older than 16 years old. So looking very young. And as Śrīla Prabhupada would say, you never see Krishna stressed out smoking a cigarette. Krishna is always blissful, always happy. You never see Krishna working at some factory. He's always very happy. This is what Śrīla Prabhupada would say, joyful. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was at least 125 years old, I believe, and he wasn't looking like he was over 16. So this is Krishna's, let's say, the freshness of Krishna. He doesn't, his body doesn't age like the material bodies in this world. I was trying to remember what else Śrīla Prabhupada said. You don't see Krishna at a factory, you don't see him smoking a cigarette, you don't see him aging. Yeah, these are the main things he would bring up. So in the Brahma Samhita, it says Ramadi Murti Shikalanya Mena Tishtan Nana Avatar Bhuvanetu. How does it go? Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samabhavat Paramapamanya Govinda Maripusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Navayovanamcha, he's always young. Yeah, Adyam Pura. Yes, I've had a long day. I was up in, we drove, well, I gave class this morning, and I woke up early in the morning, and then I attended Mangalarti and I chanted and I gave morning class here, and then we drove up after breakfast and we did another gathering at someone's home about an hour and a half away, and we drove back down about an hour and a half, and then so this is number 3 class. It's a little, mind is starting to shut down a little bit. So yeah, Krishna is ever fresh, ever youthful, and he has many forms. He's manifesting, he's coming. Like we have in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, whenever and wherever there's a decline of religion, I come, I descend myself to reestablish the principles of Dharma. Millennium after millennium. So Krishna comes as himself on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Krishna comes as Lord Ramachandra. Krishna comes as Matsya and Nrsingadev. So many different incarnations are coming. Actually, the scripture says it's like the waves coming in, like an ocean, in the unlimited forms. It's quite inconceivable, but now when we talk about the different appearances of Krishna, there's an appearance that is not that well known in specifically India, or actually throughout the whole world, for that matter. Most of the incarnations, those are from India. Those of you who are from India, or those of you with that background, you know about these incarnations. But there's one that, again, is not so common. And actually, the appearance of this incarnation is what the whole foundation of the Hare Krishna movement, ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which we're in one of the temples now, they're all over the world, is based on. It's based on the appearance of this particular incarnation. Now, of course, when we talk about incarnations, there has to be a particular standard for incarnations. It is not that anyone and everyone can claim to be incarnation. It's not so easy. One of the qualifications is that they must be predicted in Scripture. Them and their activities must be stated in Scripture. And when we say Scripture, it means Dharmantu Shakshad Bhagavat Pranitam. Scriptures that are enunciated by Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So one of this personality, this incarnation, he is said to be the Chana avatar, or the hidden incarnation for this particular age. And what age are we in? Kali Yuga, right? We look around and it is definitely not Satya Yuga. It is Kali Yuga. It is a place that is always on fire with war and etc., etc., etc. Always some type of problem. So this incarnation comes in Kali Yuga, actually. And he is predicted in Scripture. We were just chanting the Vishnu Sahasranam. Everyone was chanting here. And actually, this incarnation is mentioned in that Vishnu Sahasranam. Some people may not be aware of that, but so what we'll do is we'll just read one verse. This is from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is a biography of this person. This person is known as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Caitanya, who appeared around 500 years ago in Navadvip, Mayapur. So there's this verse, text 49 of the Adi Lila, and it says, Suvarna Varna Hemango Varangaschan Danangadi Sannyasa Krichchamo Chanto Nishta Shanti Parayanaha. All right, so this is the translation. In his early pastimes, so we're discussing this incarnation. In his early pastimes, he appears as a householder with a golden complexion. His limbs are beautiful, and his body, smeared with the pulp of sandalwood, seems like molten gold. In his later pastimes, he accepts the sannyas order, and he is equipoised and peaceful. He is the highest abode of peace and devotion, for he silences the impersonalist non-devotees. Purport. This verse is from the Mahabharata Dana Dharma Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra. Confirmation. In his commentary on the Vishnu Sahasranama called the Namarta Sudha, Śrīla Baladeva Vidyābhūṣaṇa, commenting upon this verse, asserts that Lord Caitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to the evidence of the Upaniṣads. He explains that Suvarna Varnaha means a golden complexion. He also quotes the Vedic injunction, Yada Pasya Pashyate Rukma Varnam Kataram Isham Purusham Brahma Yonim, Mundaku Upanishad 313. The Rukma Varnam Kataram Isham refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as having a complexion, the color of molten gold. Purusham means the Supreme Lord, and Brahma Yonim indicates that he is also the Supreme Brahman. This evidence too proves that Lord Caitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Another meaning of the description of the Lord as having a golden hue is that Lord Chaitanya's personality is as fascinating as gold is attractive. All right, we could think about that. Another meaning of the description of the Lord as having a golden hue is that Lord Chaitanya's personality is as fascinating as gold is attractive. So gold's very attractive. Most people would agree. So Lord Chaitanya's personality is very attractive. Śrīla Baladeva Vidyābhūṣaṇa has explained that the word varanga means exquisitely beautiful. Lord Caitanya accepted sannyas, leaving aside his householder life to preach his mission. He has equanimity in different senses. First, he describes the confidential truth of the personality of God, and second, he satisfies everyone by knowledge and attachment to Krishna. So in this way, we're hearing from Vishnu Sahasranam about the appearance of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. It also mentions in the next verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Varnam Trisha Krishnam. So in the Bhagavad Purana, there's also a description of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, which these works were composed much earlier than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, around 500 years ago. And what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming to do? He's coming to do something similar to Krishna, and that is to kill the demoniac. But he's not doing that with chakra and gada and so on, but he's doing that by his exquisite beauty, and he's doing that by the process of that he introduced, the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if people are introduced to that chanting of the holy names of Krishna, that is introduced by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, then they will be elevated gradually to the highest states of love for Krishna. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Saddhikabanoy Shravanada Shuddha Chitta Corridor, the love for Krishna is in everyone's heart. And by hearing and chanting about Krishna, it awakens. So Lord Caitanya, he specifically came to experience that. He wanted to experience the wonderful life of a devotee, specifically of Srimati Radharani. So he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he displayed his beautiful form and his name and his qualities and his pastimes for us to meditate on and benefit from. So, yes, we do have books about Lord Caitanya. We have a number of books available. So it's good if everybody could get a book about Lord Caitanya, study his teachings and life. So we have books available. I'm thinking about writing one, actually, about Lord Caitanya, predictions of Lord Caitanya in the Vedas, in which I would collect the different predictions and then write some reflection on those verses so I could meditate on Lord Caitanya. So, all right, does anybody have any questions or comments? What was that?
How many books is this going to be?
How many what?
No, you already wrote a couple of, how many books you already wrote?
Well, I wrote one book called Day by Day with Śrīla Prabhupada, our spiritual teacher. And that book is a book of 30 chapters, but they're not called chapters, they're called days. So day 1, day 2, day 3. So each chapter is a day. And each day there's a different exchange that Śrīla Prabhupada had with one of his disciples, and then I write a reflection on that exchange. So the book is called Day by Day with Śrīla Prabhupada, Reflections of a Grand Disciple. Me being, he's like my grandfather, so grand disciple. So I wrote that book, and then another book, I mean it's not a book, but it's a journal. The journal is 167 pages. Journal, we could write our own reflections and realizations and scriptural verses or whatever we want to write. And the journal has a nice picture of Śrīla Prabhupada, and then it has a nice quote on the back from his guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then at the bottom of each page of this journal, there's quotes from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, quotes from Śrīla Prabhupada, quotes from his guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So that's a recent journal that, I published. So those are 2 publications.
Where is it available to purchase?
The journal?
Yeah, and the book also.
The book, I don't have any copies right now. But on Amazon it's there, and I'll have some copies sometime soon. But the journals, I do have journals right now. I have a number of journals personally upstairs. So, did you know about that journal?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because you said I published numbers of publications.
I heard about a book you wrote.
Oh, okay. You didn't hear about the journal, though. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. It's interesting. All right, any other...
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think in the Vishnu Sahasranama Stotram, it was 79th sloka that says Suvarna Vanno Hemango Varanga. Maybe it's a typo, I think.
Well, that's true.
Maybe it's different, I don't know.
This particular verse that I'm reading from, it's from the Adi Lila text 49 of the 3rd chapter.
Okay.
So it's just stating what verse it's in this book here. Yeah. So.
Maybe I'll add one more question, Prabhuji. So Mahaprabhu visited South India. I'm actually reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, where he went to South India, visited all the temples, including Shiva temples, and converted many Shaivites into Vaishnavites. But still, I don't know why in South India you don't see like you said, Mahaprabhu's influence. It's more in the Navadvip or Gaudiya Sampradaya. Puri.
Well, we do have our presence down there. We have a number of ISKCON temples, Chennai and Salem and different places throughout South India. So there is Mahaprabhu's movements going on down there. I mean, there's also a lot of outreach from other religions as well, like Christianity, for example. There's a lot of that going on down there as well. But yeah, I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, I am one person, I only have two hands, how many of these fruits of love of Godhead can I distribute? And he said, therefore, I am asking my followers to help distribute these fruits of love of God. And he said, Bharate Bhumate Hole Manasya Janmajar. Specifically, he's referring to those born in the land of India. In this verse, he's saying that they should make their life perfect by understanding the philosophy of Krishna consciousness and then giving it to others. So, yeah, if we're not seeing it in South India, or if we're not seeing it in or this place or that place, we could take it as an opportunity to, whether directly or indirectly, try to promote Krishna consciousness in those places. I mean, if you look at the spreading of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, he started his movement, and it was going well, but then it was hijacked by what are called as Upasampradayas or Sahajiyas, people who would take the process of bhakti really cheaply. And the whole movement became practically covered over. I mean, Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is such an important scripture in Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, Hare Krishna Bhakti tradition, specifically Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, one of our acharyas, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he had a hard time finding a copy of the Chaitanya Charitamrita in West Bengal, the place of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. So you can imagine the state of affairs there. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur found the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he, by his strong communication in terms of speaking and writing and creating followers and so on, resurrected Vaishnavism, Gaudiya Vaishnavism, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's Vaishnavism. And then from there we've had so many acharyas coming down to our Śrīla Prabhupada, who brought it to America and then all over the world. So yeah, sometimes different things happen to the Hare Krishna movement. You know, from time to time, different things happen. But still, Śrīla Prabhupada would press his followers that it is their business to try to expand it. Yeah, so I hope that satisfies you to some degree. I'm not telling you to leave your job and take sannyas and go down to South India, so I'm not telling you to do that. But maybe you could go do some preaching tours sometimes. You have some free time. You could go do a tour of South India, do some preaching around, book distribution, Harinam, whatever. All right. Any other question? You have a question? No? Okay. All right. That's okay. All right. So we can move on to the next part. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will have prasadam. We'll serve it outside. We need help to bring the food outside. And I'm sure you guys can take care of that. The last session at 8:50.